All right, and we are back. Final round is going to be Doflamingo versus Enel, who we just saw was
Hmm.
Tommy that won the last round. Um, Dofi player is actually Wimmy. Wimmy made it to the finals here.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, this is going to be interesting match. I mean, obviously, like Anel is favored, but if Dofi's aggro enough and Anel really isn't seeing a whole lot, um, I mean, it could go in Dofi's favor pretty fast.
yeah, and then Enel can pretty much trigger out pop bodies. You go Raigo,
Yep.
because more than likely he's going to starve Dofi as well.
Yep.
You have the Gadatsus, you have the Egghead Luffys. Not sure if he's running Egghead Namis or
I mean, I would have to assume he's running Nami's because that's pretty standard at
yeah,
this point.
Kuzan. Kuzan can get rid of the teaches as well. So there are a
Yep.
lot of different cards now that can just mess with Enel. I mean
Yeah.
with Dofi.
Yeah.
So, but I've seen Dofi. I have one against Enel with Dofi, and it's a miracle, but it can happen.
Yeah. 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 No KO triggers.
hmm
Again, and they'll kind of at a slower
Just
start.
gas on the pedal, just
Yeah.
swinging all out.
Or two, if Enel's only like KO cards is Nami at the beginning, and he's having to pitch cards in hand to use the Nami,
hmm
that can kind of that's not always great either. Because yeah, you don't want to be too high of a hand size for pudding, but if you're just getting rid of all your triggers, you're left with like no counter.
Yeah. And just a reminder, this is the 1K tourney from Sully's abode. I know they plan on doing this once a month. I keep preaching this because
Yep.
if you miss this event today, you can always play in it next time. So definitely a lot you can get and worth playing in for participation as well. So again, just a refresher, if you're just tuning in, Tommy is the NL player on the left, and Wimmy is the Doflamingo on the right.
Yep. So Dofia is second. I don't know who won dice roll and who chose.
I think NL probably won. But as an L player, would you rather go first or second?
Um, I
Yeah, you guys are good.
yeah. I not 100% sure. I mean, I normally would want second for Kuzan, but going first, you can do Nami on curve or Egghead Luffy.
hmm
But Egghead Luffy usually wouldn't be the best because most likely you're not at 2 life.
Potentially. hmm And she does end up grabbing the 2 cost teach. No Piranha, so you can't restack the next stack, but Tommy ends up just drawing a card, drawing his Don, and passing turn.
Yep.
Does 2 for teach. Yep,
Yep.
and is probably going to start utilizing this teach to start guaranteeing leader swing here since there was no Perona.
Yeah. And this is where Tommy's going to want to see Kuzan.
Probably going to do 7 for a bounce law and then bouncing the Sengoku.
Yeah, because there's not, uh, you're not really bouncing anything back to an L's hand, maybe like a Shirahoshi blocker. You can do Kuzan, but I would only do that if you have to.
Yeah, not
I would,
completely worth it.
yeah, I would keep it more as a value engine of sending stuff back to your hand.
But she does end up bouncing the Sengoku
Yep.
and getting another search off. So establishes 2 bodies this turn, which is great. And then now regaining a card back from the Sengoku search. Tommy does have a very nice playmat.
Yeah, he does.
Very relaxing.
And at 5 Dawn, again, like you can use. Okay, it looks like he's.
So ends up going 5. I potentially would actually counter out here because more than likely Gadatsu is coming down and getting rid of another one of the bodies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
Nami.
Nami. Still, something to remove the board. I believe down to 5 cards in
Yeah.
hand.
Also, Gadatsus. I think like in my now, I only run like maybe 2 Gadatsus at this point.
Hmm.
Just because I do kind of prefer the Egghead Luffy, like the ratio of them between each other, because I like the trigger and the draw.
Yeah. And Wimmy is using another Jinbei here to Boa to stack the top 3 of her
Yep.
deck. And now can do leader ability here and play over the Sengoku. Starts with the 5 swing first, now 7. And now you're putting Enel into this range where he's got to sort of be careful and start countering out because Dofi is wide and lucky enough an Egghead Luffy trigger
Yep.
to pop the Boa.
Yeah, he needed to see that there because it was getting out of control on her board. And this is where he's going to put Teach into life.
Hmm.
And then I think she'll be left with 3 in hand when she trashes.
Yep, which is unfortunate. Utilizing, well, not really utilizing the teach, but consistent plays with the Jinbei. Able to go wide, but now won't really be able to protect much of the board here.
There's 3 Dawn. I'm guessing maybe there's a Shirahoshi blocker he wants to put down.
Oh, no,
Okay.
decides to go 8 to the Weevil here. Ends up clearing the Weevil. Not sure how many cards. 7 cards in Tommy's hand
I
here.
think he thought maybe it was too risky to just swing 6 into Jinbei, and maybe she has that 2K.
That is true. Yeah, even if you establish that 2-cost Shirahoshi, if Wimi sees a blocker,
Yep.
bounce law, could bounce that Shirahoshi back to hand, making it useless at that point.
Yeah. Because as an L, like I would prefer not to be healing with a body from 0. I'd like to stay at 1.
Hmm.
Just again because Dofi could put out so many bodies that, you know, just that 1 extra buffer life is great. Oh.
So next turn 9, pretty much Yamato plays at that point.
Yep.
But if Wimi does decide to swing out at life here, Tommy is going to have to counter out. He cannot just take the bombardment of 3 swings, but needs the board clear at the same time.
Yeah, because like the Navi and Kuzan is just taking counter out of Wimi's hand,
Hmm.
which she can't really afford to do right now.
Yep, so ends up giving the Shirahoshi. Does she swing a 5 again, or swing a little bit bigger at the Nami this time?
And then also too, she doesn't know what's on top of her deck. That's why also too using that Kuzan to get Teach on the bottom was just you need to do that right away.
And taking that card away helps out a lot, too.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the Wimmy from Twitter here that is playing the Doflamingo.
The one on the internet.
Yep, the one from the internet, the interwebs.
Oh, so he could hear us. That's cool.
It did get quieter in the shop.
Yeah. Yeah, so Wimmy is in a pretty difficult spot here.
Yeah, because she really wants that Nami gone, but once he drops that Yamato, it gets tough.
So ends up countering dead Jinbei swing, giving him a 1K, giving her a 1K. And swinging 6. Does he have a 2K to protect it?
What's the
And it looks like she's just going to probably establish.
7 Dawn there?
Hmm.
Was it a gravity
Oh,
blade? Yeah.
it's a good way to be able to remove whatever's on the field there, which is good, but not being able to establish bodies is unfortunate here.
It's unfortunate, but with this situation, that was probably the best outcome.
Hmm.
Got some counter out of hand. Like, if he has Yamato, it's coming down anyway.
Yep. And she did swing 5 at the other Jinbei, which now leaves her with 1 card in hand. With this draw will be 2, so
Yeah, because also, too, if she overcommitted and just went to life and it didn't work out, like a bad trigger, just easy counter out of one of the hits, then you pretty much lost at that point.
oh, I think they're running locals here as well at the same time as the
Yeah.
tournament. Yeah, pretty rough spot. Even if you swing at the Anel, he's probably going to just take both of them.
Yep.
Pretty much sitting where he wants to sit at. If he sees another Anel, he could just pop whatever character, swing over the other one, so while also healing. And then all you have to do is pretty much establish all their big bodies and continue
Yeah.
doing what they're doing.
Yeah, even if it's not Yamato, like Ace, she just doesn't have enough characters on board or the counter for an Ace.
Hmm.
Oh,
So ends up seeing the Frankie, which allows him to draw 1, and
yep.
since he has 1 body or 1 life, can play out the Frankie as well. Best case scenario right there, an extra body to swing over hers. So ends up passing, does not swing with the Jinbei. I believe it's the right call, because if not, he can swing over the Jinbei.
Yeah.
Does 9, ends up getting the boa, swings 5 at the leader. At this point, now here's going to be the card draw for Dofi.
Yep.
And then a rush
But
ace.
still,
Yep. So puts her down to 3 life from 6. Starts to putting the pressure on, but he also does not have a lot of card size like he did the last round. So
yeah.
can't really starve out like he did the boa.
Yeah, he does have the 2 big bodies. I don't know if he's going to counter out if she attacks on the Frankie. I don't know if she runs Red Rock either.
If they swing at the Frankie, I would just potentially just let it go. And then if she turns the Jinbei sideways, swing at the Jinbeis,
Yep.
maybe has another pop body to get rid of whatever she plays.
Let's see. And it's possible maybe he did have another Yamato in hand, but the ace was actually good because there was no other cards on board that he could swing into. It puts her at that 3 threshold, which is already pretty low, and then he can just Yamato again and pop another 4-drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just putting the pressure on, which
Yeah,
is what he needs to do right here. Yeah,
because
Wimmy's in a pretty tough spot here. I know she's deciding on what to do.
yeah,
Can't really swing out the face because if they do decide to swing, and now can just re-heal itself
yep,
and not worry.
yeah, because if she really wanted to like get him down to 0, it doesn't really. Enel doesn't care at this point.
No. And ends up swinging at face instead of the Frankie. I really thought the Frankie would have been what you would have wanted to swing at. But opts to not do it.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of not sure. Without really being able to tell what either of them have in hand.
It looks like a Jozu in Wimmy's hand here, which Jozu would have been so much more beneficial on curve.
Yeah,
But not being able to see it on curve was unfortunate. Even then, Tommy would have been able to pop it. Yeah, we are getting a couple followers here from the store.
5.
So now decides to swing 5 at the Frankie. It's like, which trap card is it?
Yeah.
Ends up giving the Egghead Nami as the 1K counter to protect the Frankie.
Oh, and then she could replay the Jinbei,
Mm-hmm.
something else. And she has to have a ace to rush. So she realistically, I mean, she'll survive this turn.
This is where it's kind of iffy. Not seeing that Yamato there was kind of not
Yeah.
great because you could have popped one of these bodies. And instead, it looks like he's opting to just swing. Maybe he has another rush ace here.
Here.
Yep. Heal 1. And this is where Wimmy potentially has a chance. Has 5 swings going into this turn.
Yeah, I mean, still has a 6-card hand. I don't think we've seen many 2Ks being used by an L so far.
Correct. It's just dependent on, one, what he triggers out of life.
Yeah.
But you have to get 4 swings in, even in this scenario here. Because the 2's going to heal 1 more. And then got to get through that last life and then heal.
Yeah, you have to have all 5 swings, and you only have 1 that can be like countered out or stopped.
Mm-hmm. Decides to swing 6 only.
Interesting.
Ends up countering with a 2K.
Unless she's confident in blockering up.
Which we do know she's running the 1 cost
Yep.
blocker law as well as the boas. Obviously, it's a 4 of in the deck. Not much in trash for the Anel either.
No, not really. That's what I meant. I think that might have been the first 2K, or maybe we saw 1.
Yeah, if not, if she can't block her up this turn, he could pretty much just go lethal with his board here.
Yeah.
2 aces, Yamato, and then slap it all on leader as well.
And then even with the blockers, if he just has 1 card in hand that could just pop it right off the bat, that could be pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, either way, I guess you're gambling.
Yeah. I mean, if one of these swings don't connect, it's pretty much GG's for this turn.
Yep.
Decides to swing 7 with the Jozu. 0 cost. Oh, there's another 0 cost. And the ace.
Okay.
So now we know he's got another 0 cost. Not sure what the other 2 cards are in his hand here. We do know lethal is not an option at this point for
Nope.
Wimmy. Hart. I'm not sure what Hart placed. This is Top Cut. He wasn't in Top Cut, so he, at some point in Swiss, either dropped or did not make it.
I never know what he's playing. I know he's been back and forth between Dofi and Lucci.
He's
right?
been playing Dofi.
Yes.
I ended up facing him on Vu's tournament on Thursday. So swings 9 at the Yamato, ends up giving her a 1K. And then we do know that it's a 0 cost there in the hand.
And now.
Oh, 2K.
Yep.
Oh, it's Tommy versus Wimmy.
And then no blocker. And that's GG's.
And that is game. Tommy is the winner of the 1K.
More enthusiastic, dude. Where's your clapping?
Where's your clapping?
Yeah. Yeah. Just gotta force the clap.
For real.